Hey again, everybody. I have yet to find an upload schedule that works for me, so please bear with me while I get my footing on this channel. Sometimes I feel like making a video, and other times I just don't have the energy. Anyways, enough of me being pathetic. In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about what I'm here to do on this channel and what frustrates me. I may be a little too honest in this video, but let's talk about why I'm so emotional right now. In the era of social media and a plethora of free online content to consume, I think it's very important that we try to remember that the people on YouTube and other social media platforms who post doll videos and content are real human beings with lives outside of social media. I say this because I recently asked Reddit why they watch doll YouTubers, and almost everyone who replied to my post stated that they only tune in for doll unboxings and reviews. And to me, that's a pretty big indication that some people in this community have unfair expectations for their favorite content creators. The problem is, at least from my perspective, although nobody is forcing content creators to go out and buy new dolls or products made by companies that are known for selling dolls, in most cases, their social media or YouTube channels will not do well without videos like this. But if you try to cater your channel to what your viewers want, it's a recipe for disaster. I understand that some doll YouTubers are getting free dolls or PR packages from companies like Mattel and MGA Entertainment, but some of the doll content creators I know of are buying the dolls they unbox or review with their own hard-earned money, and they are spending hundreds of dollars to achieve a full set. If you are a content creator who mainly posts unboxing or review videos, there will be times where you might struggle with FOMO, a shopping addiction, or impulse purchases, and you may even reduce your hobby down to nothing more than a dopamine hit or chasing attention on social media. The reason why it's so hard to escape this feedback loop is because when you decide not to buy a doll and you don't complete a line, you may feel guilty or worry that your social media accounts will suffer because of it. So you may find yourself in a strange situation where you feel like you have to buy new dolls for your fans and not yourself. If you're truly a completionist when it comes to collecting dolls, that's completely understandable. But if you're a completionist because it's what your fans or your audience prefers, that crosses the line into being unhealthy. Because when you decide not to buy a doll and you don't complete a line or you regret buying a doll, you may feel guilty or worry that your social media accounts will suffer because of it. So you may find yourself in a strange situation where you feel like you have to buy new dolls for your fans. If you are regularly asked to unbox or review dolls, then in my opinion, you have fallen victim to this because your audience is pushing you to grow your doll collection in ways that you otherwise may not have. If you make videos, you should probably take a moment to think about why you're buying new dolls. If you are buying new dolls because you think your audience will appreciate it, or you're chasing likes and attention on social media, then you may find yourself in a situation where you're surrounded by stuff you don't actually like because you were trying to live up to unrealistic expectations. And that can be a hard thing to unlearn, especially when you're getting so much positive reinforcement from the likes, comments, and views these videos get, or other content for that matter. I believe some content creators have lost sight of why they began collecting in the first place, or if they chose to collect to get attention on social media, they should try to remember that their dolls will remain in their possession even when their social media account dies, So, if you're only collecting dolls or other products for the algorithms of social media, you might want to reconsider buying every new doll or product that comes out so you can be one of the first people to have bragging rights and to say that they have that thing. If you're truly a completionist, that's fine, but you don't have to be if you don't actually enjoy being a completionist. I'm gonna be real with you guys for a second. Some of the people you watch have FOMO or self-diagnosed shopping addictions or both. That's nothing against them personally, it's just the truth. Even if they don't directly recommend that you buy dolls or even review or unbox new dolls on social media, you should not be basing what dolls you are going to purchase off of their opinions, because they are not always thinking clearly about the dolls they buy, and anyone's opinion of a doll should not matter more than yours just because you watch them or look up to them. Nobody is perfect, and it's okay to have regrets or to change your mind about a doll or another product. But you definitely shouldn't value someone else's opinion more than your own when it comes to collecting dolls or deciding what to buy. Anyways, I'm gonna get a little bit off topic here, but I'd like to explain why I'm so emotional right now. I have a life outside of what I do here on YouTube that I have discussed in several of my videos on this channel, and I've noticed that people in the doll collecting community don't really talk about their personal lives very often. There are times where I'm more or less interested in talking about dolls and creating content because I have other hobbies outside of collecting dolls, or sometimes I'm busy with other important things in my life. But people expect regularity on social media, and unfortunately, that's something I cannot provide my subscribers without stressing myself out about uploading on time or making sure that the videos I'm uploading are of a certain quality when I don't feel like putting that much effort in, because that could negatively impact the quality of my content, or worse, my life outside of being a doll collector that posts on social media. This hobby, including content creation, is supposed to be a fun pastime, not an income or something that stresses me out, and that's another reason why I don't want to be an influencer or a popular person in the doll community on social media. I don't want to associate my monthly income or my happiness with my love of dolls or doll collecting, and I don't want to be obsessed with the algorithm or getting attention online. I want to make impactful videos that are informative, fun, or entertaining. I don't want to be a YouTuber as a living or an influencer or terminally online. Influencers also tend to put themselves first, and they will usually try to leverage their relationship with you against you by encouraging you to buy things. Influencers care about sponsorships and brand deals, and I don't personally care about these things. Influencer culture can be very toxic because oftentimes you're putting a complete stranger on a pedestal. Bad apples can be successful in this community, and I demonstrated that the most clearly in my video about Chocolate Dolly and her past behavior. Anyone can become an influencer or popular in this community. If you have a phone or a device that can record videos and an internet connection, then you are qualified. Having subscribers or followers, however, does not make you a better doll collector or a better person. There is also something pretty drastic that happens to people sometimes who become prominent in this community. Sometimes people change when they're getting lots of exposure or attention, and they go from being relatively relatable people to someone who seems like a god or a mythical creature. For example, I've seen bigger doll YouTubers doing a lot of live streams on social media, which is not a problem in itself, but it's definitely a drastic change in behavior because most people, before gaining that many subscribers on social media, would not see the point of going live and sharing how they feel. I've also noticed that the people who are much bigger in this community feel the need to have very professional looking videos and feel the need to have their hair and nails done and be in full glam for a doll video they're filming in their bedroom. If that's your daily look, then you do you. I'm not here to judge, but you don't need to look like a doll to make content about dolls. It seems to me as if there's a problem in this community and it's making some people miserable. There is an obsession surrounding aesthetics and curated personalities within this community. Makeup is one form of this because even if you don't collect Bratz or really like the brand, looking like a Bratz doll or doing Bratz makeup looks gets people views. Dressing like a Bratz doll also gets views. Reviewing, unboxing, or restyling particularly pretty or uncommon Bratz dolls gets a lot of likes, followers, attention, and views. Modern aesthetics, however, can fall out of favor once they're accessible to everyone, just like most trends or things that become trendy. And the Bratz aesthetic and collecting Bratz dolls is no different. For example, some collectors think that Campfire Felicia has lost her magic now that she's widely available again and is no longer a Grail doll for some people. You would think that being able to have her would be exciting, but some collectors are already over her and have moved on to obsessing over other Bratz dolls like Dresden and Headgame's Rena. As a huge disclaimer, you don't have to like everything about the Bratz brand, aesthetic, or the dolls to be a Bratz collector. The whole point of collecting dolls or getting into an aesthetic is because you identify with it. Aesthetics are often wrought with exclusion, and in this case, the Bratz aesthetic is not easily obtainable, and sometimes people in this community will be bullied. This community can be very fat-phobic and judgmental towards other people for very personal reasons, simply because they don't fit the Bratz aesthetic or traditional model of what people expect a Bratz fan to be like. During arguments online, I've seen collectors resort to very nasty behavior. I've seen collectors call other collectors poor, fat, ugly, etc. Speaking of calling people poor, there is also subtle classism in this community because collecting dolls is not cheap, and neither is looking like a Bratz doll or living like a Bratz doll, but some people seem to think that it's okay to shame people for not making a lot of money or living this lifestyle to the fullest. Some people have spent thousands of dollars on this hobby and they have an entire room dedicated to their collections. And I think that's really cool and totally fine. But if you felt like you had to make where you film more aesthetically pleasing to your audience, the lines become blurry. Your audience should not be an investment or the way that you choose to live your life. If you want to have a nicer bedroom or place to film, I understand, but you shouldn't feel like you need a super fancy camera, backdrop, and microphone to get views. It helps, but at the end of the day, if you're not keeping up with trends in this community, uploading videos almost daily, or doing unboxing or review videos, you're not going to go as far as a content creator. There's nothing wrong with enjoying curated content or very well edited videos. But it shouldn't be the standard in this community. Nobody is perfect, and nobody wakes up looking runway ready, and nobody is born knowing how to make aesthetically pleasing photos and videos. If you have something to say and you're filming in your pajamas on your kitchen floor, you'll still get views if you're entertaining or providing information. Do not feel obligated to put on makeup, put on a personality, or make sure your room is spotless every time you upload. If people judge you for being genuine in your videos, these people are not worth changing how you live your life for. You also shouldn't feel like you have to buy things to fit into this community. We are not plastic dolls, so what works for Barbie or the Bratz doesn't work for real people. And it's important to find enjoyment in life through other means besides materialistic pursuits or trying to pursue popularity on social media. Just because you don't have a large collection or don't enjoy something like makeup doesn't mean you're less passionate about Bratz or the Bratz aesthetic than someone else is. The Bratz aesthetic brought people with similar interests together, which is a great thing, and it allows us to showcase our identity and to find like-minded people. But what if, in some instances, our love of Bratz or the Bratz aesthetic molds our identity, and the community reinforces our desire to fit in and be well liked in the community? I think the internet's ability to connect people is awesome, but sometimes I wonder if some people are using materialism as an escape or a shortcut to finding themselves. If people want to connect to a product or an aesthetic, then that's totally fine, but we have to remind ourselves that aesthetics are not sustainable. In my opinion, true expression comes from the act of creating, not consuming. The decor we buy and the dolls we collect can be a form of self-expression, but there are lots of other ways to express your love of Bratz without spending money. Using the things that we buy as a part of our identity or how we gain attention on social media runs the risk of creating unnecessary regret in the form of purchases that will lose value to you over time. You should not value dolls or fitting into an aesthetic more than your personal happiness. I don't think that spending money is wrong, but I do think that your purchases should be intentional and you should be investing in yourself, not trends or appealing to other people. You don't need a new aesthetic or more things to be concerned about. Don't put yourself in a box or a category or an aesthetic. Be yourself. You don't need to rebrand yourself. You are not a company or a product. I don't care if you're an influencer or a socialite or whatever. You are not a brand, you are a person. If you use Pinterest, Instagram, or TikTok regularly, then you are probably being bombarded by aesthetic videos and photos on a daily basis. You don't have to stick to a certain style or aesthetic. There is nothing wrong with liking Bratz dolls or the Bratz aesthetic, but you shouldn't be basing your whole life or life rebrand off of trends or basing your personality off of the fact that you are a doll collector or someone that likes the Bratz brand. For example, a lot of Bratz girlies tend to believe that they need to be good at applying makeup, have a big closet and lots of accessories and shoes, or a large doll collection, or sometimes they will upload videos with background music that fits the aesthetic best. If you don't like these things, or you don't live this way, then show people what you're really like. If everyone tries to become like the Bratz aesthetic, or we all collected the exact same dolls, we would ultimately lose our individuality, and living a more aesthetic life is not going to make your life inherently better than it was before. In my opinion, There is something so morbid about watching people with no identity get sucked into identities and aesthetics. How are we supposed to forge a real sense of self-identity if we are in an echo chamber of people who all like the same things that we do? Trying to change your personality, the way you speak, what music you listen to, what you wear, what you eat, and what you look like, and trying to adopt the same hobbies people in the Bratz aesthetic have sounds like a recipe for an identity crisis. I believe that people enjoy feeling like they have a fresh slate or a new start, but rebranding yourself with a new aesthetic or changing your life by getting rid of your old personality to become trendier will not help you feel better about yourself. If you change your looks, change what you own, and change your personality, you will not find the happiness you're looking for. You can't please everyone, and you definitely won't be pleasing yourself by trying to fit in or trying to change all of these aspects of your life. It's like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. Using dolls or using a brand or dolls to find happiness or success is not the answer to becoming a better person, because you are trying to prove yourself to complete strangers when you feel the need to be the first person to have something or to do something. The side of this community that offers content to consume on social media is becoming a very unhealthy place, where the people that are providing valuable content start to feel overwhelmed by the channels they created simply to try to entertain other people. I'm not trying to shame anyone who enjoys certain types of content, but if I were to focus on unboxing or review style videos here on my channel or on other social media platforms, I would feel like I was catering to the selfish needs and overconsumption in this community. I firmly believe that until a lot of us do some healing, we should be seeing a lot more videos about topics like FOMO and videos where people talk about purchases they regret, because otherwise we are creating this weird culture within our own community where we are not fully telling the truth at all times, and we are also, by extension, pretending to like dolls and other things we have purchased. But by doing this, we are actively ignoring the fact that money was wasted. But even worse, look at how the global economy is doing right now. A lot of young people can't even dream of owning a home in their lifetime, so I think it's very odd that more people are not trying to actively discuss how to save money or how to avoid regretting purchases in this community. I know that for some people, talking about money is uncomfortable or not an enjoyable subject to talk about, but it's an important one because personal finances affect everyone directly and indirectly. I'm also saying this because I genuinely care about the health of the doll community and the people in it, so I'm saying this out of a place of care and concern. I believe that a lot of people who make and post content related to dolls or other companies that are known for producing dolls online have unintentionally unhealthy relationships with their audience. I'm not saying that you can't post unboxing or review videos, or saying that you can't tell your audience that you love them and care about them, but if you are motivated to collect dolls or other products because other people ask you to, or for the sake of making more content, then I don't think that is a healthy relationship to have with your subscribers or with social media in general. You should not be living your life according to what you believe other people want or expect from you. I posted an anti-doll haul video on this channel because I'm never going to buy dolls I don't like, and I'm not a review or unboxing channel. The main reason why I initially swore off of keeping up with all of the new Bratz dolls was because I live in Canada, and we always get dolls long after they've been reviewed over and over again. So I decided early on that I wasn't even going to try to match pace with American collectors. The harsh reality is, if some content creators stopped buying dolls to unbox or review, they would instantly be replaced by the next biggest content creator that was keeping up with trends, and a lot of people who watch doll-themed content have admitted to me that they don't attach themselves to a particular creator. They simply expect that person to bring them more review or unboxing videos. It's not a healthy cycle. At some point, you will have to stop collecting, and when you stop, you should not find yourself with no audience left. We, as a community, need to shift our expectations drastically for the sake of keeping doll collecting fun for our favorite content creators. Don't put your expectations onto them. If you want to see a review or unboxing, but your favorite YouTuber or other social media content creator doesn't want to buy that doll, that's their choice to make, not yours. I understand wanting to see a doll before you buy it yourself, but you should not expect your favorite creator to make sure of this or to apologize to you when they don't buy the doll you're asking to see. Also, I don't see anyone in this community asking MGA or Mattel or other companies to post reviews and unboxings, so why are these expectations being placed onto random collectors? I just don't understand this mentality. You shouldn't like someone just because they buy dolls earlier than other people. Collecting is not a race, it's a hobby. We are living in a world where you can interact with and engage with people from across the globe and from all walks of life almost instantly. Social media can connect us to people we otherwise would not have been introduced to because they exist in different social spheres than we do. The dangers of keeping up with someone who is living your dream life has no limits. Having positive models of desire is paramount because we need positive influences in our lives, but social media breeds jealousy and competition, and we need to choose our models wisely, and we need to consider whether or not collecting dolls is a hobby or a dopamine hit or a way to get attention. Until recently, I had no social media accounts, so I can observe with some clarity the negative consequences of using social media. Using and being on social media can be addictive because it pushes all of the right buttons in our brains and keeps us entertained. But we must remember that our entertainment is coming from the lives of real people with thoughts and feelings that might be very different from ours, and we only see what they allow us to see of themselves. Everyone likes to put their best foot forward on social media, and it's highly unlikely that you'll see any evidence of bad behavior from people you subscribe to, unless it accidentally slips out during something they can't edit, like a live stream feed. There is also a false sense of community that comes from being online, because you feel like you're surrounded by friends and like-minded people, but when you put down your phone, you'll be by yourself again. It's important to try to focus on finding friends in real life too, and not just online. Doll collecting is very much a solo or individual hobby, even if you have online friends. So if collecting dolls is not stimulating enough by itself, and you have to be online to feel like you belong, that could become a serious problem. Social media was originally created for people to keep up with people in their lives that didn't live close by, but it has become a tool for self-promotion and for finding friends and people who share your hobbies and interests. You could spend hours scrolling, or you could do something much more fulfilling, like teaching yourself a new skill, or taking care of your dolls, or meeting new people in real life. If you wake up and the first thing you do after you wake up is check social media for new doll content, that's not healthy or productive. Why not take a shower, get dressed, or eat and drink something before checking your phone? Not everyone is addicted to social media, but some people could benefit from changing how they consume social media on a daily basis, because it is a distraction and can consume your life if you allow it. Social media also affects your approachability. If you're on your phone and you're unlikely to look up from your phone, then you won't be approached for a random conversation. Because if someone sees you on your phone, then you may seem unapproachable or too busy to speak. If you're not on social media, it will force you to become more present in your daily life. You don't need to be available online at all times. Once again, you're not a brand or a business. And if people have to wait to hear from you, that's okay. Smartphones are very convenient, and so is other forms of modern technology, but they can form bad habits. Once upon a time, it took a long time to hear from somebody, and while that may seem like an antiquated concept, the more convenient you make your life, the higher expectations you will have for other people. We want to consume new things, and we want to hear what other people have to say, but life goes on whether or not people post what they're up to online. Keeping up with trends can make you feel good and will make you feel like you fit in or are aware of what other people think, but ultimately, none of that contributes to the best version of yourself. It's not about how you present yourself online, it's about who you are and what you do when you're not online or captured in a photograph. And your digital footprint and your doll-themed social media accounts should not be your legacy. We deserve to feel like it's more than just tolerable to be our authentic selves, and we deserve a safe, open-minded, diverse doll community where we can be ourselves. It's so easy to judge someone for how they look, or how they dress, or how big their doll collection is, or how someone presents themselves or their content online, but in the grand scheme of things, details like this about a person don't actually matter. If you're a good person and you like collecting dolls or posting content online, then you deserve a fan base that respects you and your opinions. Don't stoop to buying dolls to be number one temporarily. It may feel good in the moment, but you have nobody to blame but yourself if you regret buying dolls after you succumb to peer pressure or FOMO. Collecting dolls is not a race or a competition, and chasing attention online is unhealthy. Collect because you enjoy collecting, and collect because you enjoy the dolls you buy for yourself. Dolls cost something, and collections require space, even if it's just taking up storage space and not being displayed. Don't collect dolls because you feel like you're missing out on a good time, or feel as if you're behind other collectors and need to play catch up. As a final disclaimer, not everything I said applies to everyone in this community or people who post doll-themed content, and this video is not a subtle jab at anyone, nor should it be taken as a subliminal diss. This video is just me going off about how social media can negatively affect people who collect dolls, or post doll content online, or simply identify with this community or aesthetic, but more specifically, I'm speaking to doll YouTubers because I am one. If you made it this far, thank you for watching today's video. I hope this video provided you with comfort or some sort of value, or made you feel like you're not the only one who thinks the way that you do. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and please remember to be yourself, because everyone else is already taken.